No Coca-Cola, no medicine, even scarier, no sanitary pads or condoms. It sounds unbelievable, but those are some of the most absurd and ridiculous rules that the people of North Korea have to endure. Today, we will explore 15 of the most terrifying banned products that the North Korean government prohibits. These products will surely shed some light on the secret of life inside this frozen nation. Number 15. Ban on sanitary pads. North Korea's Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un governs the country in a dictatorial style, leading to severe criticism and even commercial sanctions against him. In North Korea, even seemingly basic and essential products for life are considered illegal. The ban that shocked and outraged the world the most is the prohibition on women buying and using sanitary pads for menstrual cycles. Sanitary pads are never found in North Korean stores. It may sound astonishing, but to cope with this reality, North Korean women are believed to make their own sanitary products from available cotton fabric around them and may reuse them as much as possible. Because they use fabric cloths, North Korean women face many health issues. Fabric cloths can become a favorable environment for the growth of bacteria and mold if not washed and cleaned properly. Contact with bacteria and mold can lead to infections. Moreover, if not properly washed, fabric cloths can cause unpleasant odors and discomfort for the users. Certainly, North Korean women suffer greatly from this, but there is no way for us to help them. Selling these products here is impossible. Anyone caught selling sanitary pads in the black market will be imprisoned and subjected to horrific torture. Number 14. Coca-Cola. If you're a fan of carbonated beverages like Coca-Cola, then absolutely do not go to North Korea, because holding a can of Coke and drinking it there could land you in prison. Before 2015, there were only two countries in the world where Coca-Cola was banned: Cuba and North Korea. When this beverage was finally allowed to be sold in Cuba, North Korea remained the only country in the world without Coke. Coca-Cola stated that if any of their beverages are being sold in North Korea or Cuba, it's through smuggling and not through official channels. Coca-Cola always tries to stay out of political issues. However, Coca-Cola is a brand associated with the United States, sharing a history intertwined with major world wars like World War II and the Cold War. This association makes Coca-Cola a target for criticism and opposition. You should know that anything coming from the United States is embargoed by North Korea. If a North Korean dares to drink Coke on the streets, it means they have committed an act of dissent against the government and could be sent to labor camps or long-term imprisonment. Number 13. Ban on medicine sales. Do you know why the mortality rate in North Korea is extremely high compared to the rest of the world? It's because people rarely have access to medicines and proper medical care. In North Korea, people receive free medical treatment, which sounds great, but it's not what you think. The regime collects about 1% of citizens' monthly wages as social insurance, and the state pays for all medical expenses, including consultations, prescriptions, surgeries, and medications for the people. This system started in the early 1950s and was widespread nationwide by the 1960s and continues to this day. However, for a closed country like North Korea, they cannot provide enough medicines and medical services for the people solely from domestically produced factories. North Korea is always in a severe shortage of medicines. Those who have crossed the border report that no matter how much they complain to the basic medical levels, they rarely receive medication, while still having to pay an annual fee for national healthcare. What's even more condemnable is that the North Korean government also does not allow private pharmacies to operate. All types of medicines are only provided at state healthcare facilities, ensuring that all citizens have to pay this healthcare fee. Number 12. Ban on McDonald's. Just like Coca-Cola, McDonald's is not allowed to operate in North Korea. So, people cannot order a Big Mac, a portion of French fries, or even items from the McDonald's menu. However, the Telegraph reported that the wealthy in North Korea defy sanctions by purchasing McDonald's through the national airline, Air Koryo. Some of the wealthy often buy sandwiches at restaurants in Pyongyang. Kim Jong-il claimed to have created a hamburger called gojijiopbang, described as a double meat sandwich. You should know that Kim Jong-un spent some time studying in Europe, and he was fond of fast food there, including cheese and McDonald's. His weight says it all. Wine, foreign cigarettes, and fast food are Kim Jong-un's favorites. However, once again, the people are not allowed to touch them, or else the prison is always waiting for them. Number 11. Ban on using North Korean won. You are not allowed to spend North Korean won in North Korea. It sounds insane, but you still have to do it. Tourists are not allowed to use the North Korean national currency. In local shops for foreigners, tourists can pay with euros, yuan, South Korean won, and even US dollars, but they are never allowed to use North Korean won. If they don't have enough loose change to give back, customers will receive various types of currencies equivalent to the amount to be refunded. This is a contradiction in North Korea's economy. The country's banking system struggles with international sanctions but doesn't miss the opportunity to have a strong internal currency. The official exchange rate is still advertised as a factor controlled by the state. However, people still limit the use of North Korean won to avoid hyperinflation and improve their livelihoods to some extent. In reality, North Korea has a second exchange rate, with 8,000 North Korean won exchanging for $1. This is a taboo and denied topic to foreigners, but it is still widely recognized. And this seemingly absurd ban ultimately strengthens their currency. Number 10. Ban on Internet. North Korea doesn't hide from the Internet. Many cyber attacks have been attributed to North Korean hackers. However, for its citizens, the Internet is a luxury and tightly controlled. Most North Koreans only have access to the domestic Internet, known as Kwangmyeong. The websites they access mainly come from organizations and the government. The entire Internet infrastructure is managed by the North Korean government, with security services tightly integrated into the telecommunications network. They are monitored by a state agency called Bureau 27, the Transmission Surveillance Bureau. North Koreans still use phones, even smartphones. Smartphones here are imported from China and then labeled as North Korean brands. Most of them are cheap devices running on Android with user tracking software and some services provided by the state. People can buy unlocked smartphones smuggled across the border from China to access the Internet, but they risk being arrested and heavily fined. In North Korea, computers run on the Red Star operating system based on Linux. Like smartphones, computers here come with pre-installed user activity monitoring software. If someone attempts to access the international network, they will be immediately arrested, especially if they intentionally access and view cultural products from Europe and South Korea, with severe penalties for such individuals. Number 9. Ban on South Korean cultural products. Pornography. South Korean cultural products are things you are never allowed to watch in North Korea. Just seeing them once could cost you your life in this country. This is not a made-up story. North Korea has executed many people for buying, possessing, and watching South Korean cultural DVDs. In recent years, South Korea has built a highly influential cultural scene. The music and film productions of this country attract a large number of fans worldwide. As South Korean culture grows and spreads, the North Korean government becomes increasingly strict in controlling its infiltration into the country. They fear a cultural invasion from South Korea, and to warn the people, Kim Jong-un doesn't hesitate to enforce the harshest penalties. In 2013, about 80 people were publicly executed in 7 cities in North Korea for the crime of watching South Korean cultural products. There is no mercy for these people. It's all to intimidate the rest and protect their regime's power in this country. Number 8. Ban on blue jeans. If you are forced to go to North Korea, leave all your jeans at home because if you wear them in this country, disaster will come to you. In North Korea, jeans are considered the embodiment of global imperialism. North Korean women often wear classic dresses from the 1940s, worker uniforms, military uniforms, or traditional hanboks. In the capital Pyongyang, people's clothing is tightly controlled even though no official documents have been issued. The Youth League patrol team will stop and question anyone they feel is not dressed appropriately. Women wearing shorts, tight clothing, or jeans are easy targets. What to wear and how to appear in public is no longer an individual choice. It depends on policies and strict regulations. There, fashion is the easiest and clearest way to express the political views of the wearer. Information and news from North Korea are often tightly controlled by the government, so information about policies and penalties may not be widely publicized. However, information from independent news agencies and international organizations suggests that those who wear westernized clothing are often viewed as having intentions to oppose the political ideology of their leader, Kim. Therefore, they will be treated as political prisoners rather than just facing administrative penalties or temporary detention. Number 7. Haircut regulations. Not only are there absurd regulations regarding clothing, but the hairstyles of each individual are also tightly controlled by this national government. Last year, North Korea issued a list of 28 standardized hairstyles for its citizens. Pyongyang described the 28 mentioned hairstyles as being able to prevent the bad influence of bourgeois capitalism and as the most comfortable hairstyles. Among them, there are 18 hairstyles for women and 10 hairstyles for men. Women are somewhat favored as the number of hairstyles they can have is nearly double that of men. Married women are allowed to add some style to their hairstyles, such as curls. Not only limited in the number of hairstyles, North Korean men also have to follow a series of haircut rules issued by the government. For young people, hair should not be longer than 5 centimeters, and it must be cut once every 2 weeks. Pyongyang believes that long hair depletes nutrients from the brain, so it's best to keep it short. As for older men, they can have slightly longer hair but still not more than 7 centimeters. Another thing is that North Korean men seem to be prohibited from adopting the hairstyle of leader Kim Jong-un, shaved on the sides and long on top, because this hairstyle is not seen in the list. This is a common hairstyle in the West in the 1990s and is admired by many. And it is indeed a joke for the world when people have to cut their hair according to regulations for fear of being westernized, while their leader wears a hairstyle that goes against the whole nation. Number 6. Ban on foreign cigarettes. Never bring cigarettes from other countries inside North Korea. You will be immediately charged with smuggling. Since the enactment of the tobacco control law in 2005, North Korea has continuously strengthened regulations related to smoking. This law has been amended to restrict the importation of cigarettes from abroad and ban electronic cigarettes and smokeless tobacco. The North also expanded the smoking ban in public places and buildings and put up no smoking signs on the walls of companies and residential areas. In addition, Kim Jong-un also strictly prohibits his subordinates from smoking foreign cigarettes. Kim Jong-un said he has no need for foreign cigarettes when domestic ones are of good quality. The North Korean leader also believes that smoking foreign cigarettes is unpatriotic, so he strictly prohibits North Korean officials from using foreign cigarettes. But once again, Kim Jong-un turns himself into a joke as reporters constantly catch him smoking foreign cigarettes. The North Korean state media released a photo of Kim holding a cigarette in his right hand during a visit to a children's camp in Pyongyang. And insiders reveal that it is a type of cigarette from France with a price tag of up to $70 per cigarette. It must be admitted that Kim Jong-un is a connoisseur, and he wants North Korea to be his alone to enjoy these pleasures. Number 5. Prohibition on buying private homes. In a country like North Korea, the housing system is vastly different from the rest of the world. Here, the government implements a housing allocation system to address housing issues for the people. To be precise, the government will build houses and allocate them to people in need. But this also means that all houses are owned by the government or collective, and ordinary citizens hardly have the opportunity to own private homes. Many may think that such housing allocation is good, but in reality, housing allocation depends on occupation, status, and many other factors. Those who truly need housing almost have no chance of being relocated, as most of them are allocated to officials and their children, especially those holding positions in the military. Sometimes, houses built by citizens themselves will also be confiscated for redistribution because they are built on government land. Therefore, houses in North Korea are often quite simple because people know that in the end, it will not be their property. Number 4. Ban on buying cars. You can't imagine how difficult it is to buy a car in North Korea. As of 2019, the country had about 23,000 cars for a population of around 25 million, and they are mainly government, police, and military vehicles. There are many reasons for the low number of cars per capita, including laws, prices, and the market. Before 2017, owning a car in North Korea was almost impossible even though the country had an auto industry since the 1950s. The law in this country does not allow individuals to own cars, except for some special cases for work or government agencies. Since 2017, North Korea has started allowing individuals to buy cars, and North Koreans can own cars as personal vehicles, with the reason that personal cars can make a positive contribution to the national transportation system. However, registering and buying a car here is still very difficult due to the complex procedures for approving relatives and reasons for purchase. Number 3. Ban on religious books. Remember well that you are not allowed to bring any religious texts, whether it's the Bible, Buddhist scriptures, or anything related to religion, into the territory of North Korea. Religious books and beliefs brought from abroad are banned here. If caught with religious books, the punishment can be severe. The latest report from the International Religious Freedom Report notes that the North Korean government continues to execute, torture, arrest, and suppress individuals participating in almost any religious activity. This isolated and information-poor country continues to restrict access to detailed information related to suppressed incidents. This also makes it difficult to estimate the number of religious groups in the country and the number of believers. There have been many religious persecutions in this country, especially in 1992 when over 100 Christians were executed or sent to labor camps for their missionary activities. Today, you may see churches in North Korea, but they are all built to deceive international media and tourists. Monks are all imposters, and Christianity is always seen as the enemy of the government, like something coming from the Western world. Number 2. Ban on condoms. It's hard to believe, but most North Koreans don't even know that condoms exist. A few decades ago, they appeared on the black market but were not very common. However, nowadays, it's almost impossible to buy condoms because people don't have the need for them. Of course, in North Korea, men and women still have marital relationships, get married, and have children as usual. It's just that they are not equipped with basic knowledge about gender, and discussions about family planning are rare. Because of this, when men and women reach puberty and start to care about sexual health, there's nowhere to teach them about safe sex. The lack of access to such basic information leads to a lack of understanding about sexually transmitted diseases for most people, especially women. However, once someone contracts one of these diseases, they endure the shame and ridicule from others. Many people even dare not seek medical treatment to avoid the disease they contracted from becoming the biggest shame in their lives. Number 1. Ban on wearing earrings and dyeing hair. In North Korea, you won't see anyone with blonde, red, green, or rainbow-colored hair. Everyone's hair must be black. Unless it's gray hair, you can dye it back, but it still has to be black. If you defy dyeing your hair a different color, both the client and the hairdresser can be punished. In North Korea, hair dye is seen as carrying bourgeois ideology, so it's banned. Additionally, wearing earrings, ear piercing, or wearing a belly ring, is considered a symbol of imperialist, harmful Western bourgeois ideology. Like jeans and hair dye, wearing earrings can cause trouble for those who dare to violate these regulations. North Korean fashion police are also allowed to warn anyone with earrings, even with 2 earrings on both sides of their ears. Pay attention to the earrings on your body if you go to this country. Nowadays, North Korea is open to tourists, but it seems that not many people are brave enough to ensure that they don't violate the bans in this country, even though North Korea is quite mysterious and interesting. And that's a deep look into the mysterious world of life in North Korea. These terrifying prohibitions are just a few of the many ways the government here controls and influences the daily lives of its people. We hope this video has helped you understand more about this different reality and encourage you to continue learning and sharing this knowledge with everyone around you. Subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on other interesting and quality videos on related topics. Thank you for watching. See you in the next videos.